What's up guys, welcome to another video, and as always, thank you so much before I continue for the like, for the subscription, for all of you guys who are following me, and for the new subscribers I want to say welcome to my page, and tell a friend to tell a friend to like, comment, share, and just subscribe to my YouTube channel. For those who don't know, I've been in Saudi Arabia for a few months. At least change of scenery, it's important, guys. Are you a driver and you want to come to Saudi Arabia as a driver? No, I'm not advertising or something of the sort, but just to give you tips and tricks, to give you challenges which are being faced by drivers. It will be maybe 3-part series, because I'm trying to dig deeper into drivers and all that. So I love at least understanding challenges that drivers are facing, some of the advantages, the disadvantages. Let me start from the beginning, right? You are a driver, that's one. You have a driving license in Kenya or the country that you are, and you want to come to Saudi Arabia. There are two types of people who usually come in Saudi Arabia as drivers. One, there's this normal person who has a driving license. You'll be done interviews in Kenya for the driving and all that. And there's this person who doesn't have a driving license and will come to Saudi Arabia and decide that he wants to become a driver because of job opportunities that he comes and sees. That is people who come with supply company. So that's why I'm telling you, supply company, they deal with everything. They deal with everything because if you come in a supply company, you just arrived in Saudi Arabia as a common labor, general labor. That means you're fond to do anything, every kind of job able to do. So some usually come in Saudi Arabia after landing. A certain company comes and says, we need drivers. I have driving license, blah blah blah. You start telling the supply company like that, and what happens is that one thing leads to another, and you've decided that I want to change to do driving. Now let me start with a person who has a driving license. So if you have a driving license in Kenya, there are two types of driving license: the normal driving license for the country, and we have the second one. The second one is the international driving license. So for the person who has a normal driving license and the person who has the international ones, those two people are different. Why? Because the international one, when it comes to Saudi Arabia, he will be able to use his international driving license for the time being, before being issued the driving license for Saudi Arabia. That is the difference. But the other one who has the driving license of Kenya, it may take a few days, maybe a few weeks for you to be processed and being given a car to drive in the roads of Saudi Arabia. Now, what usually happens is that, let me talk first of all for supply companies. Supply companies, mostly, they don't look for drivers in those countries, no. When you land here in Saudi Arabia, that's when maybe interviews come and they say, we need 10 drivers or 15 drivers. And then what happens? After they say that they need drivers, you'll go for tests and all that. But now, there are other companies that decide that they want drivers direct from Kenya. And these people who want drivers direct from Kenya, one advantage of people who are being selected in Kenya or other countries, I like giving an example from Kenya. So if this company comes to your country and they want drivers, right? So what basically happens is that you do driving tests in your country. And then after doing driving tests in your country, you pass. You will be selected, and it will be a pretty clear way forward thing. Selected, after selection, they'll send you maybe an email for the contract. You'll have to sign it. And the advantage part of it is, one, the money is usually slightly higher as compared to people who are doing driving and came as a supply company, So that is the only advantage, is that at least the money is slightly higher than general labor, and maybe by 200 riyal or 150 or 200 basically. And also they get packs, packs in terms of if you deliver something, if you are delivering goods and services from for the company itself. So you'll be able to get some perks, maybe some airtime, fuel. Of course, they fuel your car and all that, but maybe an extra one, and maybe some small incentives for good work that you do. So both the two guys have arrived in Saudi Arabia. The one who was selected direct from the country, and the one who came to Saudi Arabia as a common labor, but he decided to change. Now, let's talk about this person who is in Saudi Arabia as a general labor and wants to change. What are some of the procedures that happen if you want to change? And what are some of the advantages and disadvantages? You know, there's one thing that people don't understand. If you're a general labor like me, you do anything, right? And one thing that is so clear, your Iqama, for all those who don't know, Iqama is the identification card of Saudi Arabia. Shows that you're a general labor. So if you are a general labor, before they change your Iqama, that is your ID, to now to general to driver, one, it will take time. For sure it will take time. Two, there's also an application called Absha. You know, Absha is it's a government sort of application whereby in this application, the government knows that me, Ali, I'm in Saudi Arabia, the work that I'm doing, maybe a general labor. And that one also, it will take time. So you can imagine you came as in Saudi Arabia, after 1 week you decide, after 1 week they have processed your medical, you're cleared for medical. 2, your Iqama is already in process. And then, after your Iqama is processed, 2 to 3 weeks, you feel that, you know, I'm bored, so I want to do what, I want to change. Or maybe an interview came for drivers and you decide that I want to change to become a driver. Bro, it will take you time. Let me give you a perfect example. A perfect example of a person who, when I left one of the works that I was working and then went back to the supply company, I found him there and he had already spent 3 months, 3 good months without work, with a lot of promises that, you know, we are still working on your Iqama, we are still working on your Absha, all that. You know, you can imagine 3 months, you have a family, you have a daughter or a son, you have your wife, you are the breadwinner of the family. So that means that you are going to take time, it will give you stress, it will create like issues with you and your family, because one thing that's for sure is that if you came to Saudi Arabia and of course you came to hustle, you came to look for greener pastures for your family, to just elevate them from point Z to point A or B, you know. So if you take another 3 months without work, others even took 4 months, right? So this perfect example is a friend of mine. This perfect example, we used to call him Dogo Janja, you know, Dogo J. Dogo J means, Dogo Janja is a Swahili word, which means the little mischievous, you know, the little cunning. Dogo means little in Swahili. Dogo in English means little. And then Janja, Dogo Janja. Janja is the cunning one, you know. So he was always an amazing person, and till today, he's an amazing guy. So this guy took like 3 months without work, you know, a lot of pressure. Like, man, I would really advise, guys, as I end this video, I would really advise, if you want to come to Saudi Arabia as a driver, then just wait for those companies that come to your country to select you from there. That will be a very important thing, because you'll come here direct. In the next video, I'll be telling you processes of how you'll be able to do your exams and what are some of the differences between Saudi Arabia and Kenya when it comes to issues of driving, and what are some of the common jobs as a driver you'll get here in Saudi Arabia, and what are some of those challenges that drivers are facing here and there. And just, I'm hoping that it will be educative to anyone who wants to come to Saudi Arabia as a driver, truck driver, small car drivers, and also I'll tell you which kind of jobs drivers get here in Saudi Arabia. So guys, see you in the next video, and thank you so much for the love and support and for the subscription, guys. I really appreciate it. Till the next one, ma'asalam.